today's show, we'll get you caught up on Liberty hoops, and you'll get to know head baseball coach Scott Jackson a little bit better.
Plus, we take you in the skies with LU Aeronautics' Ian Dutkus, and men's basketball gets pretty sappy on today's hot seat. This is Flame Central. Liberty basketball manages to get a dancing partner while the Lady Flames take their winning streak on the road to North Florida. Welcome to Flame Central, everybody. I'm Rhett McGibbon alongside Emily Austin. And Emily, I think it's fair to say we've hit the stretch run of the college basketball season.
Yeah, Rhett, but it's not just about college basketball. That super spring we've been talking about, it is upon us. That number right there, 355. That's how many Liberty athletic events are scheduled just for this spring semester.
And that doesn't even take into account postseason play, which I'm sure a lot of LU teams are going to be a part of. All right, let's get back to the now. The Lady Flames tied for first in the conference with FGCU and currently winners of 11 in a row. That would be put to the test. Historically, the Flames have struggled when they head on down to UNF, and that would be the same case here today. It'd be a slow start for the Ospreys, however, until the final 3:45 of the first quarter. They would go on to drain 4 triples to end the quarter, including 2 from Mackins to take an 18-15 lead. Second quarter would be more UNF, shooting 75% from the floor, closing out the half on a 13-2 run to take an 8-point lead into the break. Let's head to the fourth quarter where LU trailed 67-56. The Flames would pound the rock inside, bringing this game back to within striking distance, but a career day for Mackins would keep UNF on top, taking it 85-80, snapping Liberty's win streak. Marissa Mackins would have a career day, hitting 8 triples as a part of her 33 points. The Sunday game would be a tight matchup as well. Let's head to the third quarter where the Flames would build a pair of double-digit leads, but once again UNF would have a strong end to the frame, outscoring the Flames 14-6 over the remainder of the third, and entered the fourth quarter only down by 2. It would be a nail-biter to finish this one. Browerman would drain a pair of free throws to give UNF a 68-67 advantage with 1:49 left. Flames would lock it down defensively. However, they would fail to score, and that would be the final of this game, losing their second game in a row. And with these pair of losses, the Flames now sit tied for second in the ASUN with UNF. FGCU remains atop the conference with a perfect 8-0 record in conference play. There's a logjam in the middle of the standings with Lipscomb, Bellarmine, and UNA all tied with 4 wins apiece. Meanwhile, Jacksonville, the Dolphins, finally got their first conference win, taking down Bellarmine.
Despite dropping both their games, the positive for the Lady Flames is that they're actually playing conference games. It's been somewhat of a different story on the men's side. The Flames were supposed to play North Florida this past weekend, but the Ospreys had to turn their bus around on the way to Lynchburg due to COVID-19 cases, which meant time to scramble to find an opponent to play. And Lancaster Bible College answered the call. It was all Liberty in this one. Kyle Rode came out with a hot hand, hitting 2 buckets in the first 2 minutes of play. The Flames shot 60% from the field in the first 6 minutes. Later in the first, Elijah Cuffey drains a triple to make it 15-5 Liberty. Coughlin 7 of 10 from the field, finished with a career-high 19 points. Liberty made 11 total three-pointers. Cuff and Darius McGee both had 3, while Keegan McDowell and Jonathan Jackson drained 2 apiece. Blake Preston did the work in the paint for LU, recording 17 points and 9 rebounds. The Flames dominate the Chargers 90-49. The win marks the 32nd straight at home for LU. Now, these numbers didn't change for Liberty because no ASUN games were played, but here's an overall look at the standings. Bellarmine is making a statement in its first season in the ASUN at that top spot. Liberty at 6-2 in second, and it's a bit of a rat race for North Florida, North Alabama, and Lipscomb. But hey, with this season, anything can happen.
Yeah, it sure can. Well, turning our attention to baseball, feels like decades ago when Liberty, in their first season of ASUN Conference play, took down tournament host Stetson and returned to the NCAA Regionals for the first time since 2014. Fast forward to today, and the Flames have been selected to do it again as they were voted to finish atop the ASUN standings in the preseason poll. The Flames received 4 first-place votes and took first place overall, just edging out Stetson in points with 73 opposed to the Hatters' 69. 4 Flames were also named to the preseason all-conference team, but most notably is Cam Locklear, who was named preseason Defensive Player of the Year. Flames start their season February 19th at Campbell, and Emily, you know Scott Jackson will have his team ready.
Yes, Rhett, without a doubt he will. You know, there's something special about baseball that draws some people in closer than others. Few experience that connection to the game, that obsession, that love for baseball. Scott Jackson is one of them. Today, as the head coach at Liberty, he's not just focused on the success or the game itself, but how he can use the sport to better his players and to bring them closer to God.
Liberty head baseball coach Scott Jackson has long had a passion for the game. And part of the reason he loves baseball so much is due to someone very much like himself.
I have a twin brother, so it's hard to play this sport if you don't have somebody to play catch with and to throw BP to you and, compete with, obviously. So if it wasn't for my brother, I may not be sitting here right now.
He and his family would move to 6 different cities before he finished the 8th grade. And it was while living in Gaithersburg, Maryland, that Scott and his brother would develop an avid interest in professional baseball.
This was back in the 80s, and, the Orioles were good. Cal Ripken Jr. and Eddie Murray and all those Orioles. I mean, once we got to 4th or 5th grade, if it wasn't playing baseball, it was watching baseball. If it wasn't watching baseball, it was baseball cards.
But then the family would move to Charlotte, and Scott was introduced to a strange culture where professional sports wasn't king.
My first day of junior high is in Charlotte, and it's the ACC basketball tournament, and the teacher wheels the TV in the classroom, and we're watching Carolina basketball. And I remember going home and telling my dad, these people are crazy. Like, who cares about college sports? That's, I'm not interested. And ironically now look.
The two brothers would eventually go on to play collegiate baseball, with Scott heading to Campbell University. And it was during his senior season that the idea of coaching began to take shape.
I was told, hey, you'd be a great coach, but you're always going to cling to, I want to keep playing. And so my senior year, I actually fractured my wrist tagging a runner on a delayed steal. And so it ended sooner than I wanted it to, but it gave me a chance to kind of sit there and watch the game and say, okay, I'm graduating, in May. The clock is not stopping for me, and this is my 5th year, so I don't have a 6th year. What's next? And then you start thinking, hey, how can I stay around the game, and how can I maybe pass some things along? And one thing leads to another, and you're able to stay on the field. And then Wofford offers me a job, that pays $3,000 a year to be, a Division I full-time assistant coach. Yeah, I'm going, okay, I'm ready.
Scott would move up the assistant coaching ranks, becoming the pitching coach at Liberty University in 2008. But it was then that Mike Fox, the legendary head coach at North Carolina, offered him a job that he wasn't sure he was ready for.
I walk in the door, and they've been to Omaha 3 years in a row. 2 of them they've played for the national championship. Mike's just been named the National Coach of the Year. They're building a $25 million stadium. And here comes the pitching coach from Liberty to work with the hitters and be the recruiting coordinator at the University of North Carolina. First of all, why did you hire me, coach? It was, you look back on it, and I wasn't the sexy hire. I wasn't the big name. And so I walk in the door there, and I'm just trying not to get the train. Don't let the train get off the tracks. It's moving in the direction, and it's got a head of steam here, and we're moving. And I think Coach Fox was so unbelievably patient with me and really would put his arm around me and say, hey, I'm going to show you how we do it, and if you have any questions, let me know. It shaped me tremendously, and I sit up in my office now and I think back to my time there and some of the things that come out of my mouth and some of my reactions to things, and it's got a lot of Mike Fox in it.
The success and growth he experienced at UNC made Scott a natural candidate for head coaching positions. And yet, when the position at Liberty University opened up in 2016, at first he had his doubts about making the move.
I can tell you I wasn't dying to be a head coach. I loved it there. I loved UNC. I loved the people I worked with. You're not going to leave North Carolina for many places. And I came up here to interview and go through the process, and there's something different when you get here on this campus. There's something different about the people here. The facilities, yes, check. I mean, that's a box that's an easy check for us here. And then you start to look inside and you say, okay, there's a draw that brings you back here. And so I left and told my wife, like, I think we got a decision to make here. And so here we are.
As he has built his program at Liberty, Coach Jackson has done so with a holistic approach. Talent is key, but so too is understanding the big picture and the growth that a young athlete can experience as a member of the Flames.
To be able to sit down in front of a kid and his family and to say, do you really care about being who God created you to be, not just as a baseball player, but certainly outside of that, off the field, you're young. I'm sitting here talking to you about what it's going to be like 4 years from now when you're done playing here. That just doesn't resonate. That's not how athletes think, and so that's our job as coaches, and that's the most rewarding thing about being here. It's not perfect for everybody, but while you're here, we're going to push you in the right direction, and there's going to be routine, and there's going to be discipline, and there's going to be the things that you have to be successful in your life when you get done playing here.
Here comes Evans' attempt on 2-2. Ground ball to second. Wagner's got it. Throw to first. Flames win it!
Watching his players buy into what he is teaching them and then seeing them succeed on the field is the ultimate satisfaction for Coach Jackson. And as they have begun to win at a higher level, his expectation for what the Flames can become continues to rise as well.
You sit there and you talk about it over and over again, and you talk about it every day, and hey, do the right thing. And when they do it and they get it, and then you win and you get to watch the kids enjoy the elation of a championship and then go into the postseason, that 1 week stretch has been the most rewarding part of my career up to this point. The postseason is like a drug. You get addicted to it. You feel like you've failed if you don't go to the NCAA tournament. That's how I've always looked at it and how we're going to continue to look at it here, and let's get to a super.
Great story, and thanks to our Ken Toes for producing that piece. Let's go from the diamond to the pitch. Men's soccer, another team that had been patiently waiting for play to resume, had their first taste of action against Belmont Abbey. Now, this year's Flames team is young with a capital Y. 18 freshmen and sophomores on the Flames team. However, they would make their presence felt in this match. Gabe Finley would be a bright spot for LU. The freshman forward would be everywhere in this tilt. With the Flames up 1-0, Finley would hit the upright, and Michael Huss would bury the rebound to put LU ahead 2-0. Second half, Flames in great form when Luke Eberle would send a dime to Michael Huss. He'd deflect it right in front of the goal for his second marker of the day. A great debut for the freshman. Flames open the season with a 4-0 victory. Danny Cordero picking up the clean sheet.
There are some legit athletes on the men's soccer team excited to see the rest of their season. Well, in case you've been living under a rock, we started a new podcast that's taking the world by storm lately. This week, we had the pleasure to sit down with athletic director Ian McCaw. Here's a sneak peek about how much has changed on campus since McCaw joined the Flames.
The new tennis facility that looks incredible that's opening up here soon. The new arena. Just when you finish one thing and I think, well, that's it. Like, what more could you possibly need? It's like, we're breaking ground tomorrow. It's like, whoa, I didn't even think about that. What else do you need?
We've done over $200 million of athletic facilities project just since I've been here, which is only 4 years. So it's remarkable how much we've done. But we still have some work to do at Williams Stadium, and some of that's ongoing right now. And we've talked about needing some indoor multi-purpose space for teams in inclement weather, and we had some of that this week. So that's helpful. But we want to expand the athletic dining facility. It's a little bit tight right now. So we have some projects that we're working on. But in terms of the needs and the big projects, just about everything's in place at this point.
If you want to listen to our entire conversation with Ian McCaw or interviews with former guests like quarterback Malik Willis or head coach Richie McKay, be sure to head over to Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you listen to your podcast, download and subscribe for more Liberty Athletics content. All right, we have to take a quick time out, but coming up next, we go in the skies with a fly guy.
Plus, flowers, candlelight dinners. Who is the most romantic on men's basketball?
At Liberty University, we don't just believe everyone should have access to higher education, we make it happen. That's why we are offering our Middle America Scholarship to help families like yours by providing over $20,000 over the course of 4 years. Money should not hold you back from the life-changing experience at Liberty University. Find out if you qualify for the Middle America Scholarship today.
Heroes wear uniforms. You wear your strength, courage, dedication on your sleeve, and your determination on your face. We're honored to help heroes like you with a 25% discount on undergraduate, graduate, or doctoral tuition. No matter how you serve, we're here to serve you.
Times are changing. At Liberty, we've made it our priority to grow, to learn, to improve. But even with all the change, our purpose remains. We want to equip people to go make a difference through their calling in their communities around the world. And though we are blessed with an amazing campus, our most valuable resource has always been the people, our students, and those who inspire them. It's the people who serve, maintain, support. It's you.
But what's really important? Not the buildings, not the mountain, not the property, but the young people who use these buildings, who study in these facilities. They are important.
No matter what the future holds, we will stay focused on our goal. And the people of Liberty University are how we will continue to carry out our mission. They are the ones who empower us to
Training champions for Christ.
Champions for Christ.
Training champions for Christ.
What are the moments that stick with you? The ones that take your breath away. Sometimes you find them when you least expect them. You just need the opportunities to pursue. At Liberty University, you can earn a world-class degree and alongside, walk away with memories and experiences that will last a lifetime for all your passions and interests. So what is your dream? Liberty University can ignite it, and your outcome will change the world.
Service, integrity, honor. You lead your career with these virtues. Now lead your field with the degree you want at a price you've earned. Maximize your benefits at Liberty University and pay just $250 per hour for undergraduate or $275 to $300 per hour for graduate and doctoral degrees. For over 30 years, Liberty has supported military families by offering low tuition and generous benefits because integrity to us means honoring your service now and always.
Welcome back to Flames Central. Many of us find passion in the same areas as our parents or our role models. To Ian Dutkiss, his father was both. While they shared an interest in flying, a low point nearly caused Ian to take another route in life. But through the turbulence, he would find his way back where he belonged all along.
I just knew I wanted to fly. I didn't really care what I was flying or where I was flying. I just liked the idea of being a pilot. I thought it was really cool just to break free of the bonds of gravity and get up in the air.
The average person would think commercial pilot. Get in, get paid, get out. Not Ian Dutkiss. Just like his father, a former Air Force pilot, Ian was attracted to a more adventurous type of flying.
My sophomore year of college when I saw an air race on TV and I looked at my dad, he looked at me and he was like, let's do it. And I was like, let's do it. I would love to get out to Reno and compete in the air races out there and some of the different categories that they have. National aerobatics or air racing is where I want to end up.
With his course set, Ian started to take the necessary steps to become an aerobatic pilot. Suddenly, his plans would be grounded. With the unexpected passing of his father and best friend.
After my dad passed, I lost a lot of sense of direction. It was pretty close to where I was like, I'm done. Flying's not what I want anymore. I was even thinking about just going to be a firefighter, honestly, just something completely different, just so I wasn't always being reminded of not trying to be him, but just being his kid in the same career field. It was a lot of pressure. And I was looking for like any sense of direction at the time for at least 2.5 years.
That sense of direction would come in a chance meeting. Ian, being a part of the Liberty University Aeronautics program, would meet Jerry Wongberg, who'd become an important listening ear.
When I first time I really spent time with Ian was a couple years back. There was an aircraft that just came out of maintenance and had a new engine put in it, and we needed to put some time in it and make sure the airplane was doing well. Ian, being the can-do guy he is, probably said, I'll take one for the team and go fly with the old Air Force guy. And during that time frame, Ian kind of opened up about what's going on with his dad or what had happened with his dad. And he's a quiet guy. He's not a complainer. So I don't think that a lot of people really knew the depths of his pain and what he was going through. I'm not sure he even did.
Because I mean, as a guy, you always think like, oh, I got like these feelings, just suppress them and move on. So I started like dealing with them and started working with them. And it was actually when I had a short trip up to the Navy when I kind of had a traumatic relapse from like being in an environment that just reminded me of my father. That's when I got there and I realized I don't want to be him. I want to make my own path instead of trying to follow in his footsteps. And that's kind of like the pressure of trying to be him kind of weighed heavy on me. And then I just kind of one day clicked where he would have told me, dude, I did everything so you could be you. I didn't want you to be me. I want you to be better than me. So I want you to do the things you want to do.
That realization would bring Ian back to a healthy mental state, where he has now rekindled his goal of air racing.
Like obviously the rush of like pulling G's and like going upside down and stuff, that's really cool. But just the idea of I get to go keep doing what we want to do. But like every time I go up there, I think I'm going to fly with them. So like just going up there and like just going up there and flying with my dad and just kind of being alone and just flying.
A young man's passion, a father's dream, and a bond kept alive at 36,000 feet in the sky.
You did such a great job producing this, Rhett. It actually is making me want to take some flight lessons. I don't know if every other plane in the world should be grounded for that. But anyways, now to shift our focus to Warm, Hot, and Fuego, Rhett breaks down the top 3 moments, plays, or student athletes of the week. And we usually have a theme. What's our theme this week?
Well, you actually inspired me. You said it was National Pizza Day this past
Every
week.
day
So
is National
it could be. But yeah, we're going to do a little pizza. Now, do you call it pizza or do you call it za or pie?
Pizza.
I call it pie. I think that might be.
Is that a Canadian thing?
It might be a hockey thing, actually, because it's just pie. You get pie.
All right, well, let's talk about pizza. We start things off with warm.
Yes.
Is it a topping? What do we got?
Yeah, we're doing toppings here.
Okay.
Or elements of the pizza. All right,
Gotcha.
so Michael Huss here, soccer team, freshman. He right now is the cheese because he's just spread everywhere. He was spread everywhere in the field. Every good pizza starts with just an outrageous amount of cheese.
Especially if it's in the crust.
Yeah, what you talking about, girl?
Game
You
over.
know. All right, Michael Huss, all over the place. Great freshman debut and a great shot off the upright. Right place, right time. Good positioning by him. He was able to bury. And then once again, Luke Eberle, got to give him an honorable mention on that play. He placed that so well and just dipped it over the goaltender for his second of the day. I want to go watch more of the men's soccer team because they look like a team in 2 or 3 years are just going to be atop the ASUN dominating people.
I agree. I want it to get a little bit warmer maybe, but I definitely am excited about men's soccer. Okay, we move right along from warm to hot. Who's hot?
Hot, Callie Doan, and she, a young lady, she's the crust. You need carbs if you're going to run a 6K.
Yes.
That's why she's the crust. Nice, crispy. You know, do you like, we talked about stuffed crust, right?
Stuffed crust.
She could be the stuffed crust in this. 20:38.9 was her time on the 6K, 13th out of 126 people, and she was the first place at the CSU Buccaneer Invitational, which helped LU to finish 7th place as a team. She has been dynamic so far. She's been great and used to be Callie Parlier. That was her maiden name, now Callie Doan, and she's been top-notch.
Rhett, let me just tell you what this means for a 6K. That is a good 20:39.
Is it? Yeah, tell me about that.
20:38 is a good 5K time,
Right,
and she's
yes.
running an additional K. So that's just a great time. Congrats to her. We wrap things up with Enfuego.
Yeah, it's just a moment here for Ashton Baker when she collected her 1,000th point as a Flame. Good on her. This is a young lady who is really the meat. Okay, we're going with the toppings again. The meat of this team. She's just the spark plug. She does a lot of little things right. 17th player in program history to collect 1,000 points. She did it on a triple, which she has nailed down during her time at LU. So good for her in that moment. Couldn't go to a better person.
She is so fun to watch. Great job, Rhett. All right, coming up next, Valentine's Day hits Flame Central early. Love might be in the air. Men's basketball on the hot seat coming up next.
Behind every great leader, change maker, and essential worker is a teacher. Though teaching today may mean inspiring students from home, at Liberty University, we've been inspiring students from home for over 30 years. Earn your Bachelor of Education degree 100% online and graduate prepared for licensure and classroom ready, wherever that classroom may be. So the leaders, change makers, and essential workers of tomorrow can be inspired by you.
Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Flame Central. It's February, so you know what that means, right? Love is in the air.
No, Rhett, I don't see
feel
it.
it?
I don't feel it.
No?
There is plenty of love in the air, but you are taking all of it, you and your 8 children.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that one. But with Valentine's Day here, it's the perfect time to feel the love of the men's basketball team and to find out who perhaps is the most romantic in the lineup.
Most romantic? I'm gonna say myself, because if my girl see this, I'm gonna have to say myself.
I would say the most romantic is probably Kyle. I feel like I see a lot of Jess and him doing a lot of like dates and stuff.
Probably Kyle or Blake. Definitely Blake's the most romantic on the team, whether it's cooking, cleaning. I'm gonna go with me on that one. I think it's me.
Right now, I'd say Blake Preston. I know he's about to get married.
The most romantic tie probably between Blake Preston and Kyle Rode.
Again, either Luke or Kyle. I have to say myself or Luke. I heard some things about Luke.
Luke being my roommate, like I see the little things he does for his girlfriend.
I'd say Luke. Luke is, like, I don't know, super romantic in his own way.
Oh, really? I mean, you know, I don't know what to say.
I'd say just like trying to do small things every day, like bringing her flowers.
Yeah, I send flowers, you know, nice good morning texts, a lot of things to make her smile.
Big words of affirmation kind of guys.
Definitely a lot of emojis.
Not really compliments. I'm more of an actions type dude, not words.
I'm definitely romantic. I treat a girl right, so.
I'm gonna have to go with myself with that one. Like, I'm definitely the most romantic.
I set up a special date, put flowers, some rose petals on the ground.
There's everything, like, you know.
I got special lights that I made myself, so.
From sending flowers to dates, like, I'm very, you know, intentional about being romantic, so I'll say me.
I kind of got that, like, that flow that everybody's kind of like. Wait, can we redo that? I'm sorry, I can't take myself seriously. I can't. Oh boy.
This is my thought, though. I think Luke must have gotten the moves and the technique down from Coach McKay.
Maybe. All right, we're out of time. Head over to libertyflames.com, find the Flame Central tab. For Rhett, I'm Emily. We'll see you next time.